a long time, and it finally happened. They finally kissed. I said, okay. I said, I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them. But okay, like I said, Ted and Shanice kissed. Anita told Dani and Nicole that she has cancer. And not only that, she said that there's a possibility that they inherit the trait that could give them cancer. Chelsea got Kenny Lattimore to perform. I hope they keep the performances coming because I liked it. I said, I liked it. I said, I'm loving this. I said, bring on the rest of them. I said, keep it coming, keep it coming. But yeah, Ted told Leslie that she was wrong about Vernon and she needs to stop spreading rumors. And I said, yeah, you need to stop believing her. Out of all the people, you gonna believe her? Even when you telling her that it was a lie or whatever, it wasn't true, they wasn't having no affair, she was giving him singing lessons. You still tell myself, you should be able to tell because you know you was lying too. Like, girl, please. And the last thing is just that everybody was getting together celebrating New Year's Eve. I said, look, I like the cat hat. I like the cat hair. I said, look, everybody done got dressed up and everything. I said, looking good, looking good. But yeah, hey y'all, welcome back to welcome back to another review with Life with Chess, and this is for Beyond the Gates. December 30th, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below, which I think that y'all like the episode. I said, okay, now they tried to get me again. They tried to get me. So it was one thing, seeing Anita just dealing with the whole cancer thing or whatever. Then they started playing, or Kenny Lattimore started singing and everything. And I said, look, they trying to get me, but they ain't get me. But yeah, what did y'all think of the episode? So it's this, excuse me. This was just the New Year's Eve episode. If I'm not mistaken, tomorrow's episode don't air. It's either tomorrow or Thursday. I don't know, y'all. I got to go back and look at it because I be getting it mixed up. I got it mixed up last week. But yeah, this was the New Year's Eve episode. Everybody was just gathering together. Some people was at Uptown. Some people was at Orphan Jeans. Some people was at the house. But, and some people was at the club. Some people was at the club. Chelsea Madison and Naomi was just talking. Vernon ends up calling Dani. He ends up saying how he wants her and her sister to stop by. Ted and Shanice, what was they talking about? Ted and Shanice before Leslie came interrupted. She was just standing back there. I said, when they gonna see that she's standing back there watching them? Excuse me. I think I'm catching another cold. But yeah, excuse me. Like I said, Vernon wants Dani to stop by the house. Leslie was looking at Ted and Shanice talk. I didn't even write down what they was talking about. What was they talking about anyways? Oh, I think she was asking him what he gonna do for New Year's Eve because, he can't do the same thing he did on Christmas. And she was just back there watching them, and I'm waiting on them to see that she was back there. So she ends up walking up, talking about she needs Ted help. So Shanice was like, if this is about Peaches, I can do that. Basically, she's in charge of the care and stuff like that. She's like, no, it's about something else. So Shanice ends up backing away, and then she finally leaves. Or whatever, and Ted was just looking at her when she got on the elevator. So Leslie to my son, she opening a free clinic and everything, so she want him to be a part of it. And he's like, he don't think that's a good idea for them to be working on the project together, all things considered. And I said, now you want to get some sense. You don't slept with her, you don't double slept, you don't slept with her multiple times, actually. You don't repeatedly slept with her and contribute to your doggone divorce or whatever, because she was about to take you back. Allegedly. Allegedly, she was about to take you back and you decided to sleep with her again. Now you want to put some distance. He said, you finna get ready to pursue Shanice. He don't need none of that negative energy around him. And Leslie, sound like to me, she was saying, you know what? You ain't the only fish in the sea. I got somebody else. Yeah, I got somebody else. She went to the club or whatever. She was looking around. She was looking at Vanessa and Joey kissing and stuff. She ends up receiving a text from Malone. He was like, you want to meet up? I said, well, now what they got going on? I think they're supposed to be in the hotel room. Also, they said that this is currently season 2. They're saying that this is season 2 of Beyond the Gates, y'all. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they've been saying. They're saying that this is season 2. But yeah, let's see. What else? Brandon said Dani and Nicole would want to be there or whatever because Anita was still talking about, she don't want to have to tell them and ruin what they got going on. But he was like, you can't keep it a secret no more because, you got to go in for surgery and start the process tomorrow. So it's happening fast, y'all. Naomi ends up telling Ashley that Jacob invited Derek. I said, I'm so sick of these two. Oh, did y'all see that the guy from, what's it called? The Young and the Restless supposed to be coming over to Beyond the Gates? I said, they bringing more and more people. I said, now, anytime. Now, I don't want to say it. I don't want to jinx it or nothing like that. But anytime they started bringing all these folks over, then next thing you know, people start butting heads and whatever be going on behind the scenes. And the show that we know, well, some people don't like Beyond the Gates. But for those of us who think that it's refreshing and we like it or whatever, Anytime they go messing up stuff, anytime they do too much too fast, they're just getting started. They just, well, this season 2. But yeah, I said anytime they start doing that, next thing you know, it started to go downhill from there. But hopefully not. Hopefully whoever that is coming over, they add to the show. What's his name? Greg. Where is he? Does anybody know if he coming back? They brought him in and then he went out. They have been mentioning him. Dani mentioned him when she was talking to Nicole on yesterday's episode. But yeah, I was like, hopefully it stays the same. Well, I ain't gonna say stay the same because there's some areas that they could improve in. But yeah, I like it. I definitely like it. Like I said, where we stopped at. Naomi tells Ashley that Jacob invited Derek. Like I said, everybody was just joining over there at Uptown. Chelsea was with Madison. Kat was with Tomas. Jacob came with Naomi. Ashley ran into Derek. They were just looking at each other's stuff. They ended up hugging or whatever. And things just seemed awkward. They were just talking about their Christmas and how things went and everything. Madison was drinking a lot and Chelsea was acting suspicious. It's ended up being revealed that she, got in contact with Kenny Lattimore or whatever. And he ended up performing. He ended up performing for you or whatever. And I said, yeah, I like that. I hope, look, I said to me, they need to bring Fantasia. They need to bring a whole bunch of people. I like that. I definitely do. And not just in regards to music, they could bring in other people as well to have them get started. I think they said they had a reality star up on there. I didn't even catch it. I don't know who the reality star was, but yeah, what else? I think I was talking about everybody that came to Uptown. They were just talking and stuff. Naomi said something about New Year's resolution. She was going to make New Year's resolution for everybody. She said Ashley need to go to Paris. Jacob said that Derek need to take dancing lessons. Because before Kenny Lattimore started performing, that's when I don't know what Derek was about to do, but I'm assuming he about to dance because he said later in the episode how, before Kenny Lattimore came and interrupted him or whatever, how he was about to dance and stuff. But yeah, Jacob said he needs to take dancing lessons. What else? Kat and Tomas seem like they happy. Like I said, I liked her hair. I definitely liked her hair. Did y'all see? I already talked about that. I did. Let's see what else. Ashley sees Derek. Ted don't think it's good that they work on the project together, all things considered. He ends up telling Leslie that she was wrong about Vernon, that she needs to stop spreading rumors or whatever. And I said, you need to stop believing it. Carson showed up looking for Nicole. Vanessa was like, she was looking for her too, because the last thing she remembered, it's like I just be talking and certain stuff come out before I even think about it. But she was saying to Joey, she was like, where Nicole went? And she was like, now that I think about it, none of the frees are here. So she wondered if it was an emergency or whatever. But yeah, he came looking for her. He wondered if she canceled and stuff like that. And Vanessa was like, Nicole not that type of person. So I think when they went back to it, Carlton wasn't there, but Joy and Vanessa was just talking, and she was saying how the people she wanted to socialize with wasn't even there or whatever, and they were just talking. He was talking about some, when everything happened with his ex-wife, he vowed that he would never fall in love or get distracted or whatever he said. But he don't fell in love with her or whatever, and basically, long story short, she got his mind gone. And she was just looking at him, and they kissed and stuff, and he said he was in love with her. They're just having a good time or whatever out in public, and nobody even paying them no attention. Except when Leslie came. She was staring at them and stuff. But like I said, she got a text message from Malone. They showed them in a hotel together. What else? Anita ends up, the girls make it. Anita ends up telling her girls that she's been diagnosed with breast cancer. She also ends up saying that she has a trait that could have been passed down to them. And not only that, if they do have it, then that means that you basically all of them got to get tested. All of them have to get tested. Dani over here, she don't tell Andre that she has to tell Bill because he's so protective of their girls. And I was like, I was wondering why she was going over there to tell, But at the same time, it's like, you couldn't call. It'd be one thing to call. I don't know. They gonna forever be connected. Andre had made a face or whatever. He seemed bothered by it, and I understand. And I said, how you gonna, I want to see, I know they said that Nicole's supposed to be talking to Martin, and I think Kat. Do they say they said Chelsea and Naomi find out through the grandparents? Now I don't know how true that is because sometimes spoilers don't be accurate, and sometimes they'll put the wrong name down. I've noticed it. I've definitely noticed it. But they based on the spoiler, it says that Vernon and them supposed to tell Chelsea and Naomi. So if that's true, you mean to tell me that Dani going over there to tell Bill before she tell her kids what's going on? I don't know. I'm gonna wait to see. I'm gonna wait to see the episode, y'all. But yeah, what else? Madison and Chelsea was talking about their family. She was like, she understand why, Chelsea was trying to get her and her mama to work things out, and she wished that they could or whatever. Vernon tells Andre about Anita, says that Dani would need someone to lean on in the upcoming months. Ted ends up coming where Shanice was at Orphanages or whatever. They was talking about that doggone bird feeder and New Year's resolution. And he said he finna get a place. He said he had hold it off only because he was hoping that Nicole came back and stuff like that. How do you be expecting her to come back? How did you expect her to come back when you done went laid up with the same lady? Well, it was both y'all fault, but mainly yours because you the one had the vows. But yeah, how? Now he want to put some distance between them. But yeah, they were talking about him getting a place. They started doing the countdown at the end of the episode. The next thing you know, Ted reached over there, grabbed her chin, and he done kissed her. I said, okay, Ted. I see you, Ted. I see you. Now, I was expecting Leslie to be way more upset. Now, she clearly bothered by it still. She's still bothered by it, you could tell. But she also seemed like she moving on with Malone. I said, now, what happened if his wife come handle you, girl? Hold up. I said, he's still married, going through a divorce and getting a divorce. I said, just said that up on General Hospital. The review on General Hospital. Going through a divorce and being divorced. Two different things, man. But yeah, what else? Joey said that he happy to be wherever Vanessa is. Kenny Lattimore ends up singing. And I said, okay, y'all, keep the performances coming. Anita and Vernon tell Dani and Nicole they have a 50% chance of getting cancer. Ted said that he gonna get a new place. Joey said that Vanessa snuck up on him. And that he in love with her. Dani was talking to Andre and stuff, and that's when she had turned around. She ends up saying how she has to tell Bill what's going on because he's so protective of their girls and stuff. And Andre was just like, he was bothered by it. What else? I already said Leslie got a taste from Malone. The last thing I wrote down was that Ted and Shanice kissed, but we already talked about that. But that's it, y'all. What y'all think of the episode? But yeah, did y'all hear that this is season 2? That's what I heard. Now I don't know if they was talking about how today's episode was season 2 or yesterday's episode as well. But they've been saying that this is season 2. I don't know how true it is, but we shall see. Wait, didn't they show a promo? They showed a promo where once again Leslie was in the hotel with Malone. They was putting a crown or something on Anita. So maybe this isn't season 2. I don't know, but that's it, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next